This is Dr. Chris's Radio of Horror program, and tonight on the show, from the movie Girls Just Want to Have Blood, or Teenage Blood-Sucking Bimbos, quite the title, we have actress GiGi Gustin on the show with us. Thank you for coming on the show, Gigi.
You're welcome, you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Girls Just Want to Have Fun. That was made over a year ago, back in, 2019, 2018? And then it just came out now, it seems.
I think before that we started filming. Part of that is my fault. I think we started filming it in 2017, and
wow.
Then I had booked a project, and I bounced for like 2-3 months, and it's hard to get all of your cast and crew back together. So good for Tony. I owe him one for allowing me to go and do that. And then I came back and we got everything together, and little by little with everyone's schedules, because everyone else, you barely get paid on independent film. So you're working around actual jobs, and it's hard to get everybody back together. But eventually we made it happen. And a couple years later, I think 2020? Like 3 years later, here we are. So we've made it to the finish line.
Hey, shockingly, your movie made it to theaters before, like, New Mutants did, and New Mutants was filmed back in 2017.
Yeah.
That says something about the independent machine versus the Hollywood machine. It's like, wow, these two movies both were made at the same time, and one actually made it out finally. The other one got pushed back for the 4th time.
And some never will. Some never will come out. So go us.
So you made this like 3 years ago, and you guys were all teenagers in the movie. Were you a teenager in the film when you were making it?
I'm 23 now, so I think I had just turned 20. I was the closest to being a teenager of everyone, but that's all I'll say, because you can't out women's ages. You just can't do it.
But that's good, because sometimes when they cast people in those roles or whatever, they're like pushing 30, and you're just like, okay, I do not believe this person is 16 or something like that. You know, you look at Andrew Garfield. He was the oldest actor to play Spider-Man in the first Spider-Man movie. And he's supposed to be playing like a 16-year-old kid, and you're like, this is not a 16-year-old.
It's so funny. That's how they do it. I know for like SAG productions, they want people that are over 18 because of work hours and all of that type of jazz, the flexibility. But yeah, a lot of movies do that. So I think it is actually pretty cool that we all do actually look like teenagers.
In the movie Idle Hands, I just got done watching the commentary. If you've ever seen that movie, it came out in 1999. It's about a kid whose hand's possessed by a demon, and it kills people. And it's a comedy. And it's the first movie starring Jessica Alba. And they actually talk about in the commentary, I think she was 17 at the time we did this movie. But there's no way in hell she did the end of the movie when she was 17, because there was some seriously not cool stuff. And then the actor who has all of the who has the crush on her in the movie, he's just like, no, that's right, she turned 18. And they went back and they filmed a couple more scenes, and then they did the test or whatever, and they said, is she 18? We want to see her in a bikini in this movie now that she's 18. Can we put her in a bikini? And we're gonna do one better. We're gonna rip her dress off, and then she's gonna be in her underwear because she's 18.
That's incredible. They just pause filming. Like, we gotta get Jessica Alba in a bikini. Everyone, wait.
But she's gotta be 18. We don't want to. Nothing weird. Okay, wait till she's 18. Oh, she's 18 next week. Fantastic. Okay, so we were talking off the air. So this movie, Girls Just Want to Have Blood. Being a teenager sucks. You don't know who the woman is on the poster who's got like the best looking cinematography photo with the best looking fangs out of everybody in the movie.
No, I have no idea who this woman is. I mean, she's hot.
Yeah.
I do not know her though. I made the back cover, which is pretty sick. But yeah, I guess it would be safe to say me and this lady are friends now. We share a movie in some sort of sense, even though I've never met her. So.
Do you I haven't seen a large body of your work, but do you enjoy being covered in gratuitous amounts of blood? Because in this movie, you get covered in a lot of blood.
I absolutely do. And that's partially because...
You're a woman after my own heart.
Well, with the way that I look and the way that I sound, everyone's waiting for me to do my Wolf of Wall Street. They want me to do, have like a Margot Robbie type of role, but like
okay. Well, you don't need to do that, but if you want to, that's perfectly fine.
Well, no, that's the thing is I audition for that stuff, and I'm constantly kind of cast as like, the sex bomb. So the second someone's down to like throw some dirt on my face or dump blood on me. It's just the most exciting thing in the world. It's what I look forward to. So I'm very much I'm very competitive. I'm a tomboy. I like to get dirty. I've had two brothers, and I love everything about horror films. So I prefer a good vampire flick to Wolf of Wall Street. Call me crazy. So when I'm acting in it.
This movie had two things that you were either covered in. Either it was a lot of blood, or of course the scene where you guys were all standing out in the rain and you're just getting soaking wet.
Oh my gosh, that scene was so hysterical. Tony, he made this rain machine, and it was pretty powerful, and I had such thick eyelashes on that I look like I'm blinking really heavily, and I think luckily it kind of worked out in the film that it looks like I'm like attempting to like bat my eyelashes to be cute or flirty, but truthfully the rain was just really heavy on top of my eyelashes and it was weighing down my eyelids.
Also, a lot of diversity with the vampire girls. You have the leader of the pack is an African American woman, and then you also have a you have an overweight vampire, and then there's you. So they actually didn't just make it all three pretty girls and all regular normal white girls either. So they decided to go a little bit crazy with it. Also, the bigger of the three has like tattoos, piercings, and colored hair, so it makes her stand out a little bit more than the other two.
I'm glad that we were all diverse and had our own voices and our own characteristics, and I think everybody's gorgeous. Just it's like what flavor do you like? It's all different flavors for you. So there's a little bit of everything in there.
Did you do your own stunts? Because you get pretty messed up in this movie, and a couple times tossed around pretty well.
Oh yeah, definitely. Tony asked me if I was down, and I said yeah. So I forget who taught us the stunts, but I picked it up pretty quick because I forget if Tony's the one who taught me how to do it or if they brought somebody in, but I remember being really excited to do it just to have the footage, and I've used it to get other projects as well, which has been really cool. So yeah, did all my own stunts. I learned from a couple people that have watched my reel that apparently I don't know how to punch right, that I'm going to break my wrist, but as long as it turned out okay on camera, that's all that matters.
Before going into this, were you a huge fan of vampire movies? Was this from what I could tell on your IMDb, this was your first actual major feature-length film, not a short, right?
Well, what's funny is I've always been drawn to mystical creatures and to horror films. There's something exciting about it to me. And but I've never been attracted to vampires specifically. The vampire roles just kept coming after me. And now I have a new love for vampires, and been introduced to some old culty films. One of them is The Lost Boys, and so now I've become a total nerd. I'm obsessed with vampires, but I got turned on to it. The vampire life chose me, though I didn't choose it. It just keeps following me around.
You did one other vampire movie then?
I did, actually, it's funny. I think the same year that I did Girls Just Want to Have Blood, I also did my first short film, which was called Down Jersey, and that's also a vampire film. And I've done a couple of bit parts as a vampire as well in other projects, and I just can't seem to get away from horror films, but I love them, so I'm super, super down for it. And I like the fangs. I think they look cool on me, make me look rougher.
Did you get them custom done? Did they have like the dentist denture material do the fangs for you?
Oh God, we had a Fixodent that we used to get these little fangs on our teeth.
Oh no! You gotta get your own. I don't know how it works in a lot of films, if they'll let you use them from film to film. A couple of vampire movies that I've worked on, and a couple of friends of mine, they make custom fangs that only fit your teeth. You don't need any adhesive, and they're molded to fit your teeth. So you basically lock them in place in between your other teeth. And then you take them out and then stick them in, whatever, to make sure they get cleaned. I have my own custom fangs that only fit my teeth.
Yeah. I actually did. There's another film that I did actually going back to Down Jersey where we did that. We did the whole, me and this other kid, we got our teeth molded and we had custom fangs. Those actually ended up not fitting. I don't know what happened. But we just didn't have the budget. So Fixodent it was. But I think there's even a scene in the movie where Hopefully no one else catches it, but I catch it. I see that my tooth fell out, and then they like cut real quick, and I'm like, oh no, because that kept happening. And I would be saying my line, and I would just like like spit it out on accident. I was like, ah, damn it, I forgot my tooth. I gotta go pick it up off the floor. But that's indie films for you. So we made it work. We did the best that we could with the money that we had.
I love the what was the main character's name?
Amanda? Wait, is that her
No,
real
Jessica.
name?
Oh yeah, Amanda's her real name. Jessica is her
Carrot.
character's name.
Mhm.
When she gets like half burned, I thought that makeup was done pretty well. You guys just get a lot of like blood thrown on you, but you and then when it comes to all the killing montage you guys do is was pretty fun. The slumber party scene, not so much leading up before you guys show up to kill everybody, and I'm like, I turned to a friend of mine who I was watching with, and I was just like, do girls really talk like this at slumber parties in 2017? She's like, I don't know. I've been on a slumber party in 20 years.
Oh, that's incredible.
I don't remember us talking about like how much like so on and so forth that we did to guys and things that I can't say on the radio. I'm like, really? She's like, no, that's your adolescent fantasy believing that we do.
Yeah, it's that scene was really funny. I remember filming that day. It kind of brought me back because I think my 10th birthday party was a slumber party, and that's just what you do. You talk about boys and you do crazy stuff, and I think I've done some truth or dare and like kissed the best friend or two. So some of it is accurate, but most of it is obviously way over the top. I think the way that Goggles intended it to be.
When you were growing up, was there a film in particular that you loved as a little girl that you were like, oh, this is the film that I'm going to become? This is what I want to do.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good question. One film that I've always really loved is Scream.
Oh, excellent. I was just talking about Scream with somebody.
Oh my goodness, I love it. I have a knife, a piece of artwork, knife that has Ghostface from Scream painted on it that my friend Robbie did, and I also have a poster that Jamie Kennedy signed at Scream Fest. So I'm a huge Scream fan, and ever since I watched that movie, I think is when I knew that I wanted to be in horror films. There's that film, and then also, I know this is pretty disturbing to be a kid and enjoy this movie, but I enjoyed it for different reasons. The Human Centipede I saw when I was like 12, I think, and I remember. Oh my god, so gnarly, right? My mom would have killed me. But my friend was talking about it, like, hey, like, have you seen this movie? And so it was my mission to go over to her house to see this film, and I saw it, and I was so scared. And
scared? I wasn't scared. I was disgusted.
It's disturbing, but it's scary being a young girl because you're like, oh my god, that could actually happen. And I think it's crazy that it was trapped in my mind for a really long time. And I kind of liked that. I was like, wow, I kind of want to be. I want to be trapped in people's minds for long periods of time. Like, I want to affect people, even if it's scaring the crap out of them. I want to affect people. And it's funny because one of the first short films I did out here, I co-starred alongside Ashlyn Yenny, who was in the Human Centipede 1 and 2. So it's so crazy how things come into fruition that way.
You were working on, it says filming, I'm assuming it may have been interrupted during quarantine, but something called Hollywood Trick. And the photos from it look pretty cool, and it looks like you are a stripper in the movie.
Yeah. So that's a short film. It's actually about people are really distracted by the flashy behind the scenes photos and the stills because we're all in tiny outfits, but it's actually a really intense piece about human trafficking.
Oh wow. I was wondering, I'm like looking at the photos, and because I'm like, I was seeing the photos. Oh, this is a good one with Victoria Battleston leaning over some guy's car. She looks absolutely beautiful. I saw the photos for this movie, and then I saw the post of you standing in front of the AVN Awards. But then I remember seeing a Twitter post from you saying, "No, I'm not doing porn, guys. I just went to a..."
Yes.
And I'm wondering if that's why people were making that connection, seeing these photos and going, "She is doing porn."
No, you know what? It's so funny too. I was nervous to go. I was just brought as a guest because I was sort of seeing this guy who's an actual film director, but has a friend who's a big porn agent. He asked if I wanted to go, and I was like, oh, I don't know. And he said, it's a huge event, it's televised, it's going to be a blast. Just come for the experience. Why not? I'd never been to Vegas, so I went. But then after the fact, and especially once I got there and I was all dolled up, everyone was talking about me, looking at me, and I was like, I think that everyone here thinks I'm a porn star.
Yep.
And then after the fact, I got put on IMDb.
Oh no!
You can see me on Showtime, like as a guest. You can see me in the special. So now
Oh.
IMDb, it says GiGi Gustin self best in sex, and I'm like, ah, no, this is false advertising. So between Hollywood Trick, that, and then the original title of Girl Doesn't Have Blood being Teenage Blood-Sucking Bimbos, I keep having to assure my dad and my brothers that, like, I'm not a porn star.
Oh, that's what I was just about to ask. Do you have to go immediately rushing to the phone and be like, Mom, Dad, no, don't worry. I'm just promoting myself.
No, it's funny because I get cast in sexy roles and I'm okay with that, but that's why I like when I get to do, bloody stuff. It's like, yeah, I can get gritty too though. But I knew that was going to happen. Like if I go to the awards, I'm going to get all these cute pictures. I'm not going to be able to post or else everyone is just going to assume that I'm a porn star, but it's too late for that. But the second you Google search it, like it would come up if I was. And so, sorry to disappoint, but you will not find that. The closest thing to that is going to be Girls Just Want to Have Blood. So.
Your co-star in that movie, The Hollywood Trick, Victoria Baldersara.
Baldersara, yes.
Stunningly beautiful.
She absolutely is.
Human trafficking movies, that can be definitely very, very scary. Did you see the movie Unfriended 2? Not the first one, which was the ghost on Skype killing people, but the second one where the kid finds out the laptop that he took from the Lost and Found is connected to human trafficking?
Oh, wow. No, I saw the first one in theaters, but I did not see the second one.
Absolutely see the second one because people were freaked out by Unfriended Dark Web because it was about like a hostile human trafficking kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
By hostile, I mean the rich kind of pay to do whatever the hell they want. Not getting political with that statement, but just saying.
Yeah.
What have you been doing to keep yourself occupied during quarantine for the last 3 months? Because Hollywood is opening up next week, tomorrow to start filming again.
Oh yes, thank God. I start shooting on the 20th again. Thank God. But I've had moments where I've been, bored out of my mind, but for the most part, I've been able to keep busy because I've been doing a lot of self tapes, and I had been working out a couple. I managed to keep pretty busy. Despite some weeks of downtime. For the most part, I'm still able to do self-tapes, and I'm also a co-producer on a couple of projects. I've been requiring some at-home work because certain projects are getting really close to distribution. So there's still been work to do, plus I cannot stay still for too long. So if I'm not working on a project or playing with my cat, I'm scouring the internet for projects, and I scour the internet to find directors and projects that I like, and then I go and I reach out to people and I connect. So I've been managing to stay pretty busy, which is why now that things are opening up, I'm pretty much ready to like pew 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 to like blast off because I've been connecting with everyone even during the downtime so that I'm the first thing on their minds when they start casting their films again. So I've stayed pretty busy. I miss the gym. And I miss eating out, but ordering food is fun too. I've caught up on a lot of movie classics. I had never seen Scarface until quarantine, so there's a couple movies that I had to catch up on, and I did the best that I could with my time. I'm just ready to get back to work, thank God.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are as things are opening up this week. We're hitting the second wave of the coronavirus, but hopefully that doesn't affect too many things. Keeping your fingers crossed. I myself actually tried unsuccessfully 3 times. The third one seems to be somewhat the charm, but it's such a delayed little thing we're doing that it would have been better been posted about 2 months ago. But I tried to do one film in quarantine with a bunch of people. We all film our own thing and kind of patchwork the footage together. It was the idea of it was coming across really great. The problem was everybody. The second time, try doing it again. I got half the footage in that I wanted. The other half completely fell apart due to the most obnoxious, unprofessional reasons every 5 minutes. Damn it!
No.
Oh.
A mess.
Have you ever done any or ever wanted to do any kind of like voiceover work?
It's funny that you asked that because I actually did just do my first animation voiceover project where I
Ooh.
play the voice of a little seahorse named Beanie. It's a children's educational video. And my voiceover coach, I'm actually not really with her anymore. I haven't been in voiceover because I've been focusing on camera acting, but it's actually Debbie Derryberry. She does the voice of Jimmy Neutron.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, so I have a pretty sick voiceover reel because she did that for me. I would love to play the voice of like a pink fuzzy animated character, and I will pursue that more eventually. I just right now like the passion is on camera acting, but definitely I would love to be in The Incredibles or something. That would be amazing.
And speaking of famous voiceover talents, you got to work with a friend of mine, John Kassir, who's been on my show as well, and I've gotten to know over the years, for the Springfield 3, based on a true story of 1992
Yeah.
disappearance of 3 women. Sounds like something I would have seen on Unsolved Mysteries.
Actually, that's funny that you say that because I did the short film, and then shortly after I did a true crime recreation of it on Investigation Discovery, where I
Oh,
played one of the girls, and I knew more than everybody there. I knew more than all the producers and everybody. I was like, I know this story like the back of my hand, and it was probably like annoying. So I'm like, actually, what happened? And I was like, Gigi, stop! You don't want to get fired.
oh
Um,
yeah. You never want to know more than your boss. I say that, however,
Great stuff. I
um,
love John. I love John Kassir. Like he's so talented. The director Sam is really good friends with him. So he said, "Will you be the voice of the narrator?" Just to get him attached would have been cool. So he's a legend. He's so talented. Oh my goodness. So it was exciting to have him as a part of that.
now here's a quick thing though, as I was what I meant by just in case, when you were saying you knew too much than your producer, that actually works sometimes depending on what the subject is. Now, having a little bit more knowledge of a factual event that happened could work in your favor, and they could change some things about the script after they've investigated and go, oh wow, she's right, and that's what we're doing is wrong, let's change it. Or it could get you fired. However, on the film The Craft, Faruka Balk actually knew something about witchcraft, and she is a practicing Wiccan, and she came to the producers with a lot of changes the script desperately needed, and they took her advice and rewrote a lot of the witch mumbo jumbo to reflect what she knew what she was talking about.
Which that's incredible. That worked out.
Yeah,
Um,
and she got a
but
producer credit on the movie, and that actually, a lot more films started coming to her way, not for her to star in, but for her to be like, hey, we got a question about this weird thing that we don't know what the hell we're talking about.
Totally. If it had been a feature where I was playing a character, I would definitely have a hard time keeping my mouth shut if I knew things were wrong. I'd have to respectfully be like, excuse me, like, can I just have a conversation? But to do a true crime episode, it was like 1 or 2 days of work. I'm like, Gigi, just shut your mouth, take your paycheck, and go home. Totally depends.
Well, Gigi, if you have any social media you'd like to give away where people can find you, or website, you can.
Yeah, sure. My Instagram is super easy. It's just at GiGi Gustin, GiGi Gustin. My Twitter is GiGi Gustin0, and that's probably all you really need to know. You can track down my other stuff pretty easily though if you want, but that's the main ones for me.
Awesome, Gigi. Thank you so much for coming on the show with us to talk a little bit about your career and your most recent vampire movie. And I hope you stay safe and healthy coming out of quarantine.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I actually just tested for COVID today because we have to test before we're allowed back on set. So fingers crossed, but I've been quarantined. I'm sure I'm fine.